for my questions as we speak. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me 1 minute. Hi, Rodney. Welcome. Hey, creator. Welcome. Hey, Danny. Oh my God. How are you, Amber? Okay, guys. Um, who is in here right now? Hold on one more second. Welcome, y'all. This is a Sunday night stream that I do, and it's every Sunday, always same time. And we have different topics that we talk about, and different guests that speak as well. All right. Um, my first, let's see. Mhm. Wait. Oh my God. All right, guys. I'm a little lost because I lost my questions.
Hi.
Hello, I've lost the questions, y'all. Hold
That's
on.
okay. We can make them up.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do that because I have lost it. I am so sorry, y'all. I've been looking for the last like 10 minutes. Okay,
Totally.
I apologize like completely for this. Um, okay, Velma, hi. I've never met you before, and I apologize. Could you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I am Velma. I have been streaming here for just a little bit, and I am in the middle of a master's program for counseling. None of what I say will be advice. It's just opinions that have worked just for me. But I really enjoy streaming to get like load off that steam and have like a little bit lighter conversations. Um, Mondays at midnight, which is like in a few hours, 3 hours, I have a featured show as of this week called Sounds About Right with Velma. And it's a game show where we listen to audio clues. I have three contestants try to rack up the points with those, as well as trivia. And then we just have fun, new themes each week. This theme this week is movies known by songs, and so that's what I like to do.
That is awesome. That sounds like so much fun. I'm gonna have to come catch that show.
So happy to see you there.
So topic tonight is about stress, which I can guarantee everyone in this room right now has dealt or is dealing with stress, and it could be caused by anything. It could be doesn't have to necessarily be financial. It can be relationship. It can be, mentally just like stressing about things like anxiety and stuff. So, Velma, um, what stresses you out?
Oh boy. Pretty much anything that matters in life. Because with our relationships, we're different people. And so what I think is going to happen tends to be different than what actually happens. So that can be stressful to try to navigate, like whether or not I offended someone in a relationship, or like how to move forward with things that pop up when life gets too busy. We add so many things to our schedule, and maybe a little too much here and there. um, I think that my school stressed me out so much this last term. Jay can tell you, he's like my part-time counselor. And so it could be any number of things for sure. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense.
Um, okay. Like, okay, with me, um, I do agree that it could be a combination of things too. Um, but when you get like to that point of your anxiety is way up there, what is your go-to activity to help lower that anxiety?
For me, it's usually some sort of movement, because I usually have been like sitting thinking about the same thing over and over again, trying to fix it or like whatever, when I'm working on a project for hours on end and I feel like my eyes are going to go glazed over looking at the computer. It's just important for me to take even like 10 to 30 minutes walking outside in my neighborhood, and then get a little bit of that fresh air, change my mindset, and then come back and work on things. So I like to do that. I also do yoga at least once a week. For me, that teaches me to breathe, slow down, focus on something. And then, yeah, I just really enjoy being with people who accept me for me, and we get to celebrate together. And so just hanging out with friends is really helpful for me.
Definitely, definitely. That's what same thing here. It helps me for my friend and I to go out and just take little road trips and you know, situations like that where you're getting out the house, you're going other places. It's not the same scenery, so that is it's a priority up there. You gotta find something that will get you out of your own head and that you enjoy. Can do you have any tips per se to help our viewers out about when they feel that they're having anxiety attacks or panic attacks, different ways to slow that down?
Well, I know that each of us are like a fingerprint, so we're all different, and what works for me might not work for everyone. But I mean, I think some of the things that help me manage my stress is going through my routine. Like I just have things every day that I like to do. Um, Making sure to drink water, making sure that I've eaten something. If I need to take a nap, then I give myself a nap or a timeout. Like I'm much like a 4 year old. So those are like what I like to do to like literally slow down, because nothing that I'm doing matters more than like the mental health that I'm carrying around with myself. And sometimes if we just try to push forward, we end up in like this huge collision with life, and it can be really damaging. So I just try to remind myself of that, and like kind of body check myself. Like, okay, so are my shoulders like way up to my ears? Like, is my jaw clenched? Am I like just a little bit relaxed? So I go through all of that, kind of check in with myself. I'm like, geez, I didn't know I was holding that like that all day. And doing whatever kind of breathing to help yourself regulate, is really helpful for me.
Yeah, that I've never thought about that, like doing a body check-in, um, to see if you can release that tension and focus on that gets you out of that you know high anxiety mode and stressed out mode where you get too overwhelmed. And so you just, that's, definitely a good idea. Um,
Definitely.
does anybody have any questions for Velma or anything they'd like to ask right now before we move on to our next guest? Okay. Um, well, thank you, Velma, very much for your advice and your tips and what you do as well.
Absolutely.
Um,
Thanks for having me.
thank you, sweetie. Okay. Our next guest, excuse me, is Flirty Danny, and once again, this is our first meeting. So, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I loved Velma's advice about managing it, stress as well. Um, I am good. I am Floaty Danny. I run a arts and craft shop. I just got done my master's in business, and pretty much stream daily and show everyone usually projects I'm working on or what's going on out there. So, and with me, stress is kind of like a daily occurrence with me. And
Mhm. So, what is there? Since there are so many ways that stress can manifest itself.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that you notice when you start getting really stressed out that it's like, okay, it's time to try to back down?
um, s- I'll sleep a lot more. I'll sleep a lot more than usual. Sleep in, not wanting to get up to open up the shop or to do it. Or if I'm there, I'm not really there. So what I do is, as I'm noticing my lack of sleep and my like disassociation with any of the clients, or if I feel like I'm acting a certain way, I usually go out and go for a hike. I live in the middle of the country, so I love to just hike, and how I just to deal with everyday stuff. Sometimes I'll just close the shop up for like an hour or two, just go and kind of woosah, as we call it at the shop. Just woosah myself and kind of just take a relaxing and take everything in around me.
So you do prioritize doing that. How often do you think
Uh,
you need to do that?
3 or 4 days a week, I try to do a hike, usually at night. I know it sounds bad, but I live close to a lake. So watching the moon glisten off the lake is just a beautiful sight to see, and walking around the lake at night. There was no tourists, there was no hunters, there was no like anyone in the area, and it's just so relaxing just to be there.
That sounds beautiful. It really does. And just, like you said, listening to the water and looking at the nature itself is an amazing way to de-stress because
Mhm.
you don't focus on this negative energy around you. You're focusing on this amazing natural energy, and it really does relax you and calm you down.
Mhm.
I agree. If I had that scenery, I'd be there a lot.
People say it's a really odd way to de-stress because it's at night, and I'm like, if you're just there and you see the sights that I see, you would understand.
But yeah, definitely. So how are you satisfied, do you think, with the ways you de-stress and what that does for your body and your mental health?
Yes. So I do see a therapist once a week. I've been seeing a therapist for quite some time. Mainly what we talk about is I had to find something that didn't have to do with work, didn't have to do with business, because even my hobbies outside of work, was kind of like interfering with it being business in some way or form. So we had to think of stuff to do that I could do that's not going to like be a part of business, me making money in any way, or me trying to grow my business. Just stuff to do that's outside. So I tell people all the time, with your coping mechanisms, make sure it's outside of what you already do. If you're a personal trainer and yoga and like fitness is what you do all day, the last thing you probably want to do is um, to go there at night after you get off work and do more fitness or more yoga with someone else.
It makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Yes, I am Steph, and you are watching and listening to Connect with Steph. And our topic tonight is about stress, what causes stress, how do you de stress and learn new ways and coping mechanisms to relax your mind and relax your body when you are having that really high anxiety, moment, and how often we should do it. So, welcome to Connect with Steph, and we are speaking right now with Flirty Danny, and welcome everyone. Thank you, Flirty Danny, for being here, and Velma. We will get you back up here if you feel you need to say some more, or if people have any more questions. But if there was, let's see, this one is, which areas of your life do you feel the most stressed?
Okay, so right now it's between work and my medical. Work and
Okay.
medical. I'm going through some medical issues right now. It's kind of like the medical issues isn't stressing me out. It's the whole trying to find the money to get all the procedures done that I need. So those two areas I would say are what's stressful to me. And I try to not think too hard and overthink because I notice when I overthink, that's when the stress starts coming creeping in.
Okay, that does, yeah, definitely makes sense. Financial and medical are probably, in my opinion, two of the highest out there that would cause me anxiety as well. Um, let's see. Do you feel like you are making the most out of each day?
Yes. I always wake up and say, try to do something different.
Mm,
Try to, which basically means try to do something you wouldn't, if you find something you wouldn't say yes to, try to say yes to it instead of no, because it could actually make your day or even make your week.
right. You have very good point. Very good point. Very good point. Um, so this is for me. I can also answer this question about when you are really, really, it just seems like nothing is working to calm you down as much as you would like to be. Um, what do you do at that point? Like, do you like usually what I do? My sleep patterns mess up, and I either don't sleep enough or I sleep too much, and that I think is another form of what happens when you're stressed out. So my tip for people with that would be, like you have said, which to be honest, I don't do very much, and I know I should, outdoors. Outdoor activities, feeling the sun and the breeze, and getting your mind uncluttered. So
Mhm.
I really love that idea. I really, really do. I just have to do it more myself, getting out there. Uh, but yeah, so I think people, if y'all have any questions and you would like to ask any in the chat, y'all can do that right now. And if not, I will have to try to figure out the next questions and maybe I can start asking the chat. And if you guys want to come back, and I will see y'all in a minute. I'll just ask a few questions to the chat, and then if you don't mind, I will have you and Velma come back in and we'll ask a few more closing questions, and then
Okay.
I will see some people get in the box. Okay? All right. Um, I'm going to welcome you guys to connect with Steph once again, and I am going to just lead it this way for just a few minutes. I would like to ask the chat if they would like to answer some of these questions with me. And then what I would like to do is have our guests back in the box and come up with questions that you think they you needed to hear how it helped you. Because it definitely, guys, it helped me a lot because I realize I do have to go outside, outside more often. Um, that's one thing I need to work on. That is definitely one thing I need to work on. Okay, so has anyone learned a new tip or a new trick that you didn't know before that you believe is going to help you? Okay, I'm going to have it's a last minute guess, and this won't happen again, but I have someone who has been here before many times, and I'm going to let her talk for just 10 minutes and let it go this way just for the first time because I'm not used to this format. So hold on. I do apologize. This is all very new to me and very nervous.
um, so I know I'm not actually prepared because I haven't been back to connect with Steph for a little while.
Mhm.
Um, so what is the topic? Just like managing how do I manage my stress?
Like, yeah, what causes you the most stress? And then how would you, decompress from that when you get to that point?
Oh, I think what causes me the most stress, and I've been realizing it a lot more when I go out, is going out in public with my kids. So I already have social and generalized anxiety disorder, and whenever I have to go out in public with my children, my kids have ADHD. They cause attention to us, and usually it's malattention. Some people have their comments, some people just give us weird looks, and I do my best to try and redirect my kids when we're out in public, but it's sometimes it just doesn't work. And now I have gotten to a point where um, in order for me to not have a full blown panic attack, I'll either have to have somebody go with me or take my children to the restroom and decompress in the restroom and just try and like have them sit down. I know people would say, "Now, why would you have your kids sit on a nasty floor?" But sometimes, you know, I do need my kids to sit down so I can just sit down, put in my earbuds, and like disconnect from the world so that I can, and then I'll leave the restroom with my earbuds in. So I know a lot of people have heard me, um, the way I go to sleep at night. I do a lot of sleep streams now where I listen to meditation music, um, typically anything with a siren. Um, and that's what I start putting into my earbuds. So I always have to carry a pair of earbuds with me so that I can just exit out any and all sound.
That's really good. It's, you know, that definitely would recenter, you know, your thoughts and
No one would really think, but sound can, especially outside elements, can really actually blow up your anxiety attack even more.
I've never, you know, thought about the sounds making your anxiety attack worse. You know, how do you feel about your coping mechanisms and how well they work for you? Would there be
I
anything you want to improve, or you just they all work?
I think for me, a lot of my coping mechanisms work for me. Um, there's one that I say a lot that I do, and it's my 848 or 484 breathing mechanism. And that alongside with the meditation music and just um, anything else. I think something new that I started doing is that when I started having an anxiety attack, I start tapping on certain points in my face or on my hands. I forgot what it's like a. I don't know where I got it from, but I started doing this tapping thing, and I think all of them put together in like the right order, or even just like trying different things to calm myself down from that anxiety attack. I think they all work for me, um, because they're all personalized to me. I think I've gone through a lot of therapy and a lot of different therapists, and I do see the Center for Healthcare Services down here, which is a nonprofit organization for mental health. Um, and I work with them on a weekly to biweekly basis, sometimes monthly, on um, depending on how much I need them. But I do a lot of different things to try out for my mental health. I think that everybody's little techniques are like tailored to them, and mine are specifically tailored to me.
Yeah. Um, so what I would like, I found my questions, and again, guys, I apologize. I have lost them completely on my tablet. So I would like if it would be okay with Velma and Flirty Danny to come back in and work with Silly Circus Queen here for me for a little bit. And again, I apologize. This is my first time doing the show in this way. Usually, people I know, it's very free flowing. So I do apologize for this, guys. I am so sorry.
Hey,
It's
Danny.
okay.
I'm so
Hi.
used to doing it the other way. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can do this. All right. Um, when do you feel like you are operating at your best?
Say again.
It says, when do you feel like you're operating at your best? Like, what time of day, or what are you doing your routine? Um, when, which part of the day do you think you are operating at your best? Usually.
Oh, that's a good question. I think I'm operating at my best between the time of um, 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Um,
Okay.
and I've noticed that while I'm at work. Anytime after that, I'm either just waking up still, or I'm too groggy or exhausted right after work because I'm consistently walking around.
Yeah.
Um, I would say probably between around 8 p.m. to like 5 or 6 in the morning, typically when I'm at my main job, as a caretaker. It's during the day I'm like in a fog, but as soon as like that certain time hits at 8, even if I'm off, it's like walk mode. And I'm like, that's usually when I'm like operating at my best.
Wow. And right, for me, it's after I'm up for a couple of hours where I can, clearly function and there is no fog. Um, would probably be between three. This is gonna sound weird. 3 to 3 in the morning. Like, believe it or not, I think I do best with all of that in those 12 hours because I'm awake, and then I'm literally going to bed at 3. It's just a routine that I have. I don't know why. Um, don't know why, y'all. But I'm getting there. Okay, so yeah, that was another one. We already did describe your sleeping patterns. Okay, there you go. Today, do you remember what is your first thought when you woke up this morning? If you
I got a
remember.
lot of shit I got to do. I don't want to get out of
Um,
bed.
Yeah.
Mine was, oh crap, I'm gonna be late for the bus because I was traveling today. So it was like, oh, I'm gonna be late for the bus. That was the first thought that came to my head before I even looked at my phone.
For me, it was kind of the same thing. Oh crap, I got stuff to do today, and I'm not getting out of this bed though, so I didn't. But if you notice, these are all such negative thoughts that come to us first thing in the, when we wake up and we have, a consciousness, and it makes you wonder why. Why would everything be so negative? And the day, if you've noticed, tends to go in a negative way because you're so stressed out in first thing in the morning. So, there, do y'all know, like, or do y'all have any tips on any ways to, as you wake up, kind of get yourself in a mindset that, today's going to go well, or it's okay, I'm going to make it. Like, if I'm running late for the bus, I got this, I'm going to make it. And the same thing with, you have so much to do. It's okay. I'm going to get it done. And if I don't finish it all, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. So, go ahead, Silly Circus Queen.
I've actually got about 2 or 3 different ways that I actually do that. So even though I wake up with those thoughts in my mind, yeah, like Ivy said, positive self affirmations. What I like to do is, you and I, Steph, know very much well about Pinterest and getting a lot of these self affirmations, um, pictures and memes and stuff like that. I like to put a self affirmation picture up on either my screensaver or, right after I either my background wallpaper when I open my phone. And then there's a second thing I do. Give me a second, I'll be right with you. Are you gonna go to sleep? Okay, love you. Good night. Love you. Good night. Come here. Love you. Good night. Love you. Good night. Mwah.
Love you. Good
Love you.
night.
Good night.
See you in the morning.
See you in the morning. Uh, okay. The second thing that I like to do is I put on a motivational speeches from YouTube. Um,
Okay.
I do a lot of those, and then I also have a motivational songs playlist.
Hmm.
Or not? Oh yeah, I have a motivational songs playlist, and I like to play that right in the morning. There's a few different songs that I play um, that just really, really get me going. Uh, my second, I don't know, I forgot. There's like three different artists to this one song, but I only remember the rocks part. It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. Put in the work. Put in the hours, and take what's ours. And so I just like to play songs like that. It really gets you motivated and going to just tackle the day.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I've done that in the mornings as well. Like I'll wake up and turn my playlist on that everyone knows very well.
The one that I
Um,
made.
the one that you made, and that gets me in a better mood. And I just, keep telling myself that whatever today brings, you can handle it. It wouldn't be coming at you if you couldn't. So that's what I try to do. But of course, if I'm not gonna, lie, if I'm running late and I'm really worried about that, yeah, I start going, great, I'm gonna have a seizure, or great, you know, something's gonna happen. But you do learn, to start thinking more positively and breathe if it happens, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. So that's what I try to do. How
Yeah,
about
I
you,
go
Flirty
to
Baby?
AA meeting. I do first thing when I wake up is I within the first 30 minutes I go to an AA meeting, and typically those early mornings AA meetings is about meditation and self-guidance and awareness. And so if I have those negative thoughts in my head, typically Monday through Friday, I go to that meeting right off the bat. First thing I do when I get up, get myself dressed and go and do their meditation for an hour. And that's typically so I can get the negative thoughts out of my head first thing in the morning. Or
That's
if
amazing.
anything is happening, or if I feel like I want to drink right when I get up, because that's what I used to do. So that's what I do.
That's amazing. That's a very disciplined, routine, and it works for you, and that's amazing. It's hard for people to do that. And I know it's really difficult for people to force themselves to, get out and go, okay, today I'm going to make it a better day. Today I am going to not, think of this, and this. I'm going to try to do other things, or, whatever the case may be. Um, I like that one. Hold on. Okay. How often, and I unfortunately do this a lot, how often do you think or reflect about your behaviors? I do it a lot. I'm always second guessing myself until a couple of days later, and then I'm like, okay, I think I'm all right now. So, how about you, Circus Queen?
I do this.
Um, quite a bit actually. Um, I have a habit of overthinking,
Mm-hmm.
and thank you for the love there. I have a habit of overthinking to the point where I will really let it get to me, and I think that's what keeps me humble though. When you're consistently thinking about how your actions have either affected others or how somebody's actions have affected you.
That's true.
Um, Now there is a point in time where it does become unhealthy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but for the most part, even after I've said something, like the second after, there's a point in time where I'm just like, man, I shouldn't have said that, but I said it. It came out. I also have to remember though, if I said it and it came out, then that's actually how I was feeling at the time, regardless if it hurt somebody's feelings. it sucks to hurt somebody's feelings, when you say certain things, but you also have to take into accountability that that is how you were feeling. Yes, there could have been a better way that you could have said that, but that's how you were feeling.
How about you, Flirty Danny?
Um, I actually agree with Lily. I overthink. I'm an overthinker myself, and it typically comes out when I'm live streaming. So, um, basically, when that happens, sometimes I'll like have to think about what I say, but try not to think too hard and still enjoy myself while on here. But it comes out a lot when I'm like, see some topics come up, and it's like, are you this side or this side? And then like I'm debating in my head, and sometimes I'm just like, it takes me like 5 minutes to answer because I'm overthinking every comment. I just got out of that habit of overthinking every single comment that comes in my live, and just try to be more open and be humble and be myself. And that's where I lack is too much appeal, not enough in my heart. Too much appeal.
Oh, definitely. I understand that one. I really do. Um, let's see. I do believe we have. Okay, here's one that I can answer, and I think y'all really kind of did just answer it. It says, "How are you managing your time?" And as for me, not very well, as we probably noticed tonight. I just, when I get nervous and it seems as if no matter what I do is not calming myself down, um, my time management is just horrible. Organization and, setting schedules I don't understand how it's so hard for me, but it is. So, how about you guys?
As of recently, how when I first used to come on here, how like strict I used to keep my schedules and stuff like that with my own little agendas and planners and this and that. Um, I think because I have been a lot more anxious as of recently, and my depression also falls into that. Um, I am not as organized as I should be, and now I am on my meds and stuff like that, but I'm not anywhere where I want to be. Um, and I just got a message today that I have an appointment tomorrow that I didn't put down for, and now I don't know. I have to go to work. I don't know how I'm going to get to that appointment, or if it's over the phone. It doesn't say. Or if it's one of the kids' appointments. I don't remember.
That, yeah, unorganized like me. I put it on my calendar and I put reminders, and I still, that day, no, I
So
forget.
if I have it in a little pocketbook planner, usually I'm great with those. I can work with those. I have been trying
Yes.
something new, which is not working out for me, and that's using my Google Calendar.
That's what
It's
I
not
use.
working out.
It's my phone's calendar. It doesn't work for you?
It doesn't work for me.
Not you either, Flirty Dandy?
No, I've tried it in the last 2 months and I've missed a lot of shit. Sorry, a lot of stuff I had to do.
Oh, wow.
Um, I went back to my day planner, actually. I went back to my day planner just last week. Yeah. And I'm like that with today I was all sorts of a cluster mess, everything. Because I'm designing a room right now,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm just all over the place. And I had to think to myself, I'm not designing this whole room, only specific things for the room. And when I went into the room, I got stressed out right away because my mind went right to looking at everything and seeing everything as a whole, not where's my pile, where's my stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to walk out and come down here to come down here to this little area and just be like, okay, what is my job? Why am I here? and I couldn't even find it in my Google phone. I had to look in my day planner because I had everything written down. But yeah,
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
the whole phone thing, it's not working for me. I'm going back old school. I even got a digital clock recently because my alarms weren't going off on my phone, and I was like, "What is this mess?" Or I couldn't hear them in the morning. And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So I'm going backwards, not forwards.
Old school. Yep. Yep. But it makes more sense because you actually have to put effort into remembering, and when you write it down, it's in your head. As you're writing it, you're having to kind of go over it in your head. So instead of just putting it into the phone, which I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing more often than usual, it does make more sense to write it down because the phone will, help you, but then all you gotta do is click a button and ignore it.
Hmm.
Are we allowed to ask questions as well?
Well, we have about 5 more minutes, so I'm again was not organized enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you ask the questions if y'all want.
How do you, when y'all are stressed and anxious, how do y'all remember to take care of yourself?
Um, for me, that was taught in rehab
Mhm.
um, almost a year ago. It was kind of disciplined into my rehab program. We had to learn about self care and self care right off the bat. That's the first thing they put into our heads while we were there for the 6 month program. And it was an everyday thing. Learn to, when you get stressed out or anxious, it kind of sounds selfish, but AANNA is a selfish program, as they taught us. You got to remember yourself as a whole when you get stressed out, anxious, or depressed. Remember that you matter, and everyone else around you, you kind of need to just kind of take, like, put in like a little circle, like a bubble, for even if it's an hour a day, 30 minutes a day. Just put them in a little bubble and focus on yourself, whether it's going to get your nails done, to even getting a haircut, to teeth cleaning, sometimes even just a walk around the block is what we were told. And that's what I try to keep to do.
And you do that during the day?
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least for about 20 to 25 minutes. No matter how jam packed my day is, I have to try and do something for myself.
that's really good. I unfortunately don't do it as often as I should. Um, I tend to be someone who wants to help others so much that I don't do the self care every day. But when I do, it it's very relaxing, and it does help me to get out of all this things that I'm trying to do in my head all at once. So that's why I was asking you guys some tips that would maybe like help me do that more often.
Hmm.
I think for me, I think a tip can be to um I don't know about you, I like lists. I love
Mhm.
writing lists. And so what I used to do for my kids is like either for myself or for my babysitters, I would have a check mark box to make sure that my kids um, got their nightly routine done.
Mm.
Well, I started doing that for my morning wake up routine.
Oh, okay.
Um, what does Silly Circus Queen need to do in the morning to make sure that she's good before everyone else wakes up?
That makes sense.
Brush your teeth, get a drink of water, get some tea, especially my tea. I love my morning tea or coffee, but I prefer tea.
Okay.
uh, have I done my makeup? And lately, I haven't been waking up as early as I should be, and so I haven't really had a chance to do my makeup, my hair. What makes Silly Circus Queen feel good?
Okay.
What does what can I do for myself? And so it's dedicating that time, at least an hour.
Okay. Yeah. That makes
Now
sense.
I now I know for you, you wake up at a specific time,
Yeah.
and so
You know my routine.
I know your routine. And your first hour of your day, you like to do two things: check your messages, woman. That could be done after you do what Steph needs to do for her. So
Sometimes.
even if it's 30 minutes allotted
Hmm.
time, 30 minutes is enough to take to do at least a few things that is for Steph.
See, Tori knows me. She knows what I do during the day and why I do it. So she always, is giving me advice on, okay, stop. Do something for you, and then you can go back to doing what you were doing. I have a very bad habit of not doing
Hmm.
that. Or if
I'm
I
gonna start
do, I feel
messaging you in
bad.
the morning.
You
I'm gonna
know?
start messaging you at 11:30 in the morning. Steph, have you taken care of you? I do it for
Yeah, see, I
for my
like the
friend
whole
Day
list
Day.
thing.
I always ask him at the end of the
No.
day, have you eaten? Have you drank any water? Have you taken a
Mhm.
shower? Have you done what you need to do for you before you? Because he, oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and close the actual Connect with Steph show out, which I do appreciate everyone that has been here and putting up with me. Flirty Danny, thank you so very much for being the guest
You're
and,
welcome.
participating and hanging out with me. And I do appreciate you so much. And also, Velma, I don't know if she's still here or not, but I want to thank you as well for coming in and speaking and giving us such really wonderful tips. And of course, Silly Circus Queen coming in a little clutch for me. Um, you know, because this was such a nerve wracking show for me, you know, the stress things really helping, okay? Really helping. So thank y'all for coming to connect with Steph. And next week will be better than this. And I'll get a subject out and let you guys know what it's about. Okay? Thank you. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Grazie.
Okay. That is, yeah, I did have fun. Thank you. Thank you, Flirty Danny. Okay.